Alright guys, we are doing a Kobe tumbler. Kobe just passed away and a friend of mine drew a lot of inspiration from him and really looked up to him and really used him as inspiration when he went to college for a basketball scholarship. So I decided I'm gonna make him a tumbler just at a memorial, and because his death is really hitting my friend pretty hard, so I want to make him something to help remember someone that he really looked up to. This is an item that is not for sale. Again, I'm not making any money off of this. This is going to a friend. I'm doing this of my own accord, and this is not being sold. This is a memorial tumbler so that my friend has something to help remember someone that he really idolized. So what I'm doing right now is I have my liquid deglosser, I have my rag, I've already poured some on. I'm just wiping down the cup to make sure that our paint sticks and doesn't peel off, and this is going to help take off that shiny coat. It's going to help take off this base and help our paint stick. Alright, we have applied our liquid deglosser and I am now moving on to the paint. I want to do a ombre effect on this tumbler. I want yellow on the top and purple on the bottom. I do not know much about basketball, so I did have to do a Google search and make sure that I actually got the right colors. The last thing I want to do is be disrespectful. Again, I want to state I am not making any money off of this. I am not making any money off this poor guy's death or passing. My heart truly does go out to his family. We recently just found out that his daughter was on the helicopter as well, and that they were heading towards a basketball camp when his helicopter caught fire. So in no way, shape, or form am I making any money off of his passing or this news. And the reason why I feel the need to state that is because there are actually a lot of people out there right now that are doing just that. They are selling t-shirts and jerseys and things like that and charging like $4,000 or $5,000 just for one jersey, and it's ludicrous. So again, only making this because a friend of mine truly looked up to that man and used him as inspiration. And he went to college on a basketball scholarship, so basketball really means a lot to him, and he has been truly shaken by what has happened. So right now I'm just painting on the yellow about where I want it. I am going to come down a little bit on the curve of this tumbler. Alright, so I'm going to let that dry. I'm not too concerned with covering every square inch to make sure that that gray doesn't peek through. Not too worried about that. I'm going to go over this with glitter, which he will probably hate. However, I will quickly remind him that it is the thought that counts. And I love glitter, so he can deal with it. So I'm going to wait for this to dry, and then we're going to come back in with this purple. It's called Purple Pansy. Let's see if we can get it to focus. Focus. No! There we go. Purple Pansy. Got this from Walmart. Our yellow that we used is Yellow Flame. Hopefully these are the close enough colors that I have on hand. Again, since I'm not selling this, I wasn't too concerned with going out and trying to match these colors exactly. I'm just using what I have on hand. And I actually just realized I don't even have yellow glitter, so I'm going to have to use gold, and it's probably going to look all sorts of dumb, but we'll figure it out. While we're waiting for our yellow to dry, I'm actually going to do a water slide image of his signature on one side of the cup. So I know I want his name on one side, and then I figured his signature on the other side would actually be really cool. So I had a hard time trying to find his signature, so I actually reached out to somebody that I use quite a bit for my water slides and my files, and I asked them if there was a way I could buy this signature off of them, and they told me, you know, out of respect for the family and the fact that they can't sell his signature file anyways, I went ahead and let them know what I was doing with the signature, that I wasn't making any money off of it. It was for a memorial tumbler. They went ahead and worked something up for me. They sent me a PNG file, so it'll be perfect for some clear water slide. The people I got this from, it's svgwiz.com. Really cool people, really good customer service. Like I've said, a lot of stuff that you've seen, as far as stuff that I put on my cups, I buy from them because their prices are really good. And if something ends up not working out, or I have trouble with something, they are very quick to respond if you contact them through their website or their email address. So we're going to get this printed out onto some clear water slide, and then we will paint our purple next. I did forget to mention, if you watched my water slide videos at all, you know that I use Avery.com for my water slides. And last time we used the dark transfer. This is the light, which means that it is going to mirror this image. When it prints it, it's going to print it backwards. And the way that I apply my water slides is exactly what I need. So if you see up here, it lets you know what product you're using, light t-shirt transfer. So let's see if we can zoom in a little bit. There we go. This is how we are viewing it, but it is going to print in reverse. And if you don't apply your water slides like I do, then you are always going to want to use the dark t-shirt transfer option. I use light because I don't apply it the way that people typically apply their clear water slides. I'm going to show you what I do once we are ready for this step. but I just wanted to let you know the way that I am doing it is a little different. So if you do it the typical way, make sure you have it under dark t-shirt transfer. But if you want to follow along with the method that I do, then go ahead and do the light t-shirt transfer. The template that you're looking for is 3271. I'm going to print this out and then we will move on to the purple paint. Alrighty guys, the yellow has dried, so it's time to put the purple on. When I ombre, I want to come up on the yellow a little bit, so I'm going to put my purple here a little thicker than I will down here because I don't want the colors to mix and bleed. So let's go ahead and start painting. Alright, we got our bottom portion painted. I don't know why this is not focusing on the cup. There we go. We got the bottom portion painted, so I'm going to try to do as straight of a line as possible across here because this is where my two colors are going to meet. So we are going to let this dry now and then we're going to move on to the sparkle and the glitter. Alright guys, so we've already glittered the yellow, which is actually gold, because I do not have yellow glitter. We are doing the Mod Podge on the bottom for the purple. What I'm going to do is I'm going to put the Mod Podge slowly up on the purple and actually bleed some of it over onto the gold so that we can get that ombre effect, because we don't want a harsh line. So I like the idea of being able to drizzle it on so we can get that ombre effect. Alright, so now that I've got this curve of purple done, I'm going to start bringing my Mod Podge down into the gold. I don't want it too heavy because again, we want that line very faint. We don't want to just make a hard line of Mod Podge because then that kind of defeats the purpose. So we're just brushing it down into the gold. All right, now we are going to pour our purple. We're going to pour it down. And we're not even going to touch this line up here yet. We're leaving that alone. We're just pouring it on the straight part of the cup. We're not hitting the curve yet. Okay, so we've got the bottom done. Now we are going to start focusing on the curve, but we are going to do this part by hand. So you're actually going to hold it quite a bit of a distance above the cup so that it falls down onto the cup, but it falls random so that it's not making that hard line that we were talking about. Always keep in mind, you can always add more glitter, but you cannot take glitter away. So have a gentle hand, and you can always go back and add more. That way you don't mess anything up. We will come back when I'm done with this part. That way you're not sitting here watching. Alright, so that you guys weren't just watching me do the same thing for a few minutes. We went ahead, we have our yellow, let's just call it yellow, it's actually gold. And then we have our purple on the bottom. And as you see, it's not a harsh line. It bleeds up very nicely and faintly into the yellow. So while we wait for this to dry so that we can go back over this with Mod Podge and seal in the glitter, I'm going to show you how I layer my vinyl so that I can have, I'm going to put purple down first and then I'm going to put yellow over that.
Alrighty guys, you're going to have to bear with me here. I don't have anything to hold my phone. I bought a little tripod, but it mashes my buttons, and for some reason the padding on it is not touchscreen safe, so last time I tried using it, it took 100 pictures, unbeknownst to me. So I'm going to work a little slower. Oh, got my hand in the way. There we go. I'm going to work a little slower because I only have one hand, my right hand, I don't have my left. So this font is called Samantha Italic. This is a paid font. This is paid for. This was not free on any of the websites. So I went ahead and put in his name, as you can see, nowhere even close to each other. So I'm going to ungroup the name, grab the obi, if it'll let me. There we go. And we're going to move this over. We're going to go and let's make this big so we can actually see it. We are going to move that B over so that it's connected. Move this E over. There we go. Now, I'm just going to, dang it. Oh. Ah, crap. Okay, I can't hit shift because I'm holding my phone, so I'm trying to, maybe if I move the K out of the way, it'll let me select the obi. There we go. So I'm going to try and eyeball it. Normally I can grab the letters individually on the side over here, but since I wasn't able to hit shift and select all of them, I had to do it the hard way. So we are going to bring obi over. Let's bring it down. There we go. Okay, so we have it together now. I'm going to group them back together. Trying to adjust this so that you can see my screen. So what we're going to do now is we are going to hit Control C, which copies it, and then Control V, which is going to paste another one. I think there should be a way to, maybe it's when you are initially typing this in, you can make it bold. If you can do that, that's ideal. I hate the fact that you're not really able to go in and edit after the fact. That's kind of stupid, in my opinion. But since we can't make it bold, we'll just do it the old-fashioned way. So you're going to take your little copy here, and you are going to put it right next to the other one, but just enough so that it makes it thicker. We're going to paste Control V, we're going to make another one, we're going to set it right beside that one. And the point of this is to make it thick, because right now you're working on your shadow. There we go. I'm going to take all of this, Control Copy, I'm going to paste another one, so that we can make it super thick. Actually, I'm gonna hit Control Z. Control Z. There we go. Okay. Control Z. So we're hitting the undo button. We're getting rid of that thick one so that I can go back, keep a thin one over here. There we go. Keep that little guy off to the side. Now select all of this one, copy, paste. Now we're gonna go in and make it thicker. Let's go ahead and add one more of those thick ones. There we go. So, let me show you. This is going to be purple. Oh, hold on. That looks really cool, but that's not what we're doing right now. Grab all of that. Hit your little weld button down here. Weld them all together. There we go. Now we're going to make this one purple. This one is going to be yellow. We're going to move it to the front. And then from here, you're going to get an idea as to how it's going to look. So that's going to look beautiful. That's exactly what I want. So then all I have to do is, this is welded, so this is all one piece. I need to weld my Kobe so that that's all one piece. There we go. Now I need to measure my tumbler. I'm thinking I need it about 4 inches. So from here, I'm going to select this one, 4. Then we're going to make this one 4. Since they are the same exact one, they're going to resize to the same. Let me just show you. There, it goes right over it. You'll have to play with it a little bit. Or, let's see. That's not lining up exactly how I want it, so I'm going to undo, take them back up to their big sizes. I'm going to set this one on top, about where I would want it, and I would set it on the cup. I'm going to grab all of it, and then I'm going to resize it to 4 inches. That way that yellow stays exactly how I would put it, and then from there, I'll grab it and move it. So, resize them together at the same time. That will save you time and hassle, because that's going to line up exactly how I want it when these get cut. So then you just go to make it, you know, typical cutting out your vinyl. It's going to put it on 2 different sheets. I'm going to put my purple on first, then I'm going to put my yellow, and then we are going to layer it onto the cup.
Alrighty, so we have our vinyl cut out in the colors that I'm using. Gonna put the gold over that. Normally I would use transfer tape, but my Crystalac isn't fully dry yet, so I'm going to take it off and put it on by hand. That way I don't have to worry about the transfer tape being so tough that it rips some of my clear coat off. My main concern is this K, because it's super swirly. But if I can get this off, applying it won't be that hard. Because it's super thick and super bold, it should be very easy to put on. So I'm just gonna eyeball this. I usually have a pretty good eye for making things straight. That looks pretty good right there. We're gonna press it on. pressing it on kind of light because I want to make sure that's for sure where I want it. That looks good. Now I'm going to go in and press firm like I would if I had the transfer tape on here. Doing it this way also eliminated any potential for bubbles because, I mean, it laid on there beautifully. So we got our base color on. Now for the gold may be a little more tricky because it is very, very fine. I'm thinking I may have to use transfer tape for this. Hopefully it won't be so bad because we already have this base down first.
No, Mommy.
Alright, so I got my gold up. The one thing that really stinks about using this glitter vinyl is the fact that you have to use the strong grip. You can't use the typical like contact paper that I get from Walmart. So let's hope that I can press really lightly where this purple is and it won't actually stick so bad. Ah, crap. It's bringing up the purple underneath because it's so strong. Okay, well, we're gonna lay it down. And then, well, it looks awesome. Maybe we should just leave the tape on. But I'm gonna have to pick at this because I don't know if you can see it, but my E is just peeling right up and bringing that glitter with it. So I'm gonna have to mess with this because it's so strong, it's pulling up my purple. So I'm gonna pause this and we'll come back once I get this all done and squared away. Alrighty, so we got the layer on there. We did have a little mishap down here where it pulled up some of that coating. So definitely make sure your coats are always dry before you put on vinyl. So I'm gonna let this dry for a couple of hours and then we are going to put the water slide on the back. Alrighty guys, this is dried enough in front of a fan. We have our water slide here that is on printed backwards. It has been sealed twice with Rust-Oleum matte spray, which is why it has that sheen. So we are going to stick it in the water for 30 seconds and I'm going to show you how I apply my water slides. Alright, make sure you shake off the excess. I even like to wipe my finger off. So the way I apply it is actually like this. You can see the image. So we are going to put it on. We're going to smush it down and then we are going to peel it off. One side is sticking for some reason. That's not typical for water slides. I'm gonna have to cut that part off. I'm thinking some of the clear spray must have snuck under the water slide. There we go. Alright, and that is how I apply my water slides. So just to kind of follow up, this is the cup. You'll have to excuse my turners in the background. We are working on several cups for Mother's Day. This has several coats of my Bright Tone Crystalac, and I can still feel the roughness of this glitter, so I'll probably add maybe 4 or 5 more layers. But other than that, this is it, and she is beautiful. I showed my friend and he absolutely loves it. He said he will tolerate the fact that it is super sparkly and full of glitter, but he really appreciates the thought that I put into this, making this for him. So, hopefully this helps you guys out, and hopefully you learned something. And if you're scared to jump in on a product you are not familiar with, I can tell you this stuff is absolutely amazing. I used epoxy and I really loved the glassy look that it gave my tumblers, but this honestly does just as good, if not better. There's lots of great reviews on it. Definitely do your own research. Don't just take my word for it. But I swear by this product. I'm able to work on my cups in my house without a mask. I wear gloves sometimes. Sometimes if I'm in a hurry, I just use my finger and then I can go wash it off with soap and water in my sink. I save money on measuring cups. I save money on baby wipes. I save money on popsicle sticks. Just a lot of money gets saved using this stuff instead of the epoxy, and I'm not endangering myself or my children while using it. So definitely has my seal of approval, that's for sure. So if you're nervous about using another product, or you think, I don't want to have to try and learn something new, I'm comfortable with epoxy, I'd rather just run the risk and stick with what I know, please don't. For your own safety, if you have pets in the house, if you have kids in the house, do not do it. If it's just you, you know, you are your own person, you make your own decisions. But if you have pets or kids in the house, definitely think of them. This is something you can use in the house.